CD 2.
"There's magic all over the place," said Swires. "An old witch used to live around here. She went a long time ago, but the magic still keeps the house going." "Here, there's something odd about that door," said Two-Flower.
"Why should a house need magic to keep it going?" said Rincewind. Two-Flower touched a wall gingerly.
"It's all sticky." "Nougat," said Swires. "Good grief. A real gingerbread cottage. Rincewind, a real gingerbread—"
Rincewind nodded glumly. "Yeah, the confectionery school of architecture," he said. "It never caught on." He looked suspiciously at the licorice door knocker.
"It sort of regenerates," said Swires. "Marvellous, really. You just don't get this sort of place nowadays. You just can't get the gingerbread."
"Really?" said Rincewind gloomily.
"Come on in," said the gnome. "But mind the door, Matt."
"Why?"
"Candy floss."
The great disk spun slowly under its toiling sun, and daylight pooled in hollows and finally drained away as night fell. In his chilly room in Unseen University, Trumon pored over the book, his lips moving as his finger traced the unfamiliar ancient script. He read that the Great Pyramid of Tsort, now long vanished, was made of 1,003,010 limestone blocks. He read that 10,000 slaves had been worked to death in its building. He learned that it was a maze of secret passages, their walls reputedly decorated with the distilled wisdom of ancient Tsort. He read that its height plus its length, divided by half its width, equaled exactly 1.67563, or precisely 1,237.98712567 times the difference between the distance to the sun and the weight of a small orange. He learned that 60 years had been devoted entirely to its construction. It all seemed, he thought, to be rather a lot of trouble to go to just to sharpen a razor blade. And in the forest of Skund, Two-Flower and Rincewind settled down to a meal of gingerbread mantelpiece and thought longingly of pickled onions. And far away, but set as it were on a collision course, the greatest hero the disc ever produced rolled himself a cigarette, entirely unaware of the role that lay in store for him. It was quite an interesting tailor-made that he twirled expertly between his fingers because, like many of the wandering wizards from whom he had picked up the art, he was in the habit of saving dog-ends in a leather bag and rolling them into fresh smokes. The implacable law of averages therefore dictated that some of the tobacco had been smoked almost continuously for many years now. The thing he was trying unsuccessfully to light was, well, you could have coated roads with it. So great was the reputation of this person that a group of nomadic barbarian horsemen had respectfully invited him to join them as they sat around a horse-turd fire. The nomads of the hub regions usually migrated rimwards for the winter, and these were part of a tribe who had pitched their felt tents in the sweltering heat wave of a mere -3 degrees and were going around with peeling noses and complaining about heat stroke. The barbarian chieftain said,
"What, then, are the greatest things that a man may find in life?"
This is the sort of thing you're supposed to say to maintain step cred in barbarian circles. The man on his right thoughtfully drank his cocktail of mare's milk and snowcat blood and spoke thus.
"The crisp horizon of the steppe, the wind in your hair, a fresh horse under you."
The man on his left said,
"The cry of the white eagle in the heights, the fall of the snow in the forest, a true arrow in your bow."
The chieftain nodded and said,
"Surely it is the sight of your enemy slain, the humiliation of his tribe, and the lamentation of his women."
There was a general murmur of whiskery approval at this outrageous display. Then the chieftain turned respectfully to his guest, a small figure carefully warming his chilblains by the fire, and said,
"But our guest, whose name is legend, must tell us truly, what is it that a man may call the greatest things in life?"
The guest paused in the middle of another unsuccessful attempt to light up.
"What shy?"
he said toothlessly.
"I said,